My breath caught in my throat when I saw the seating chart spread out on the restaurant's white tablecloth, under that amber light that made the silverware gleam like scalpels. My daughter pushed it toward me with a strained smile. Her fiancé, Colby Mercer, settled into his chair without touching his glass. Yvette, my ex-wife, wasn't there, but it was as if she'd walked in first, her calculated absence perfuming everything. In the center of the main table, next to the card with my name, were hers, and Graham Bell's, my former neighbor, the man I found in my bed 15 years ago. Ivy leaned forward, her hands clasped as if she were closing a sale. We want this to be a day of togetherness. I kept staring at the glossy paper. My name, Yvette's, Graham's, side by side. Colby swallowed. He didn't speak. Besides, my daughter said, smoothing an eyelash with her fingernail, Mom's going to walk me down the aisle with you. It will be a beautiful symbol. The waitress placed the plates on the table, and the aroma of butter and garlic rose between us. Thick, out of place. No one touched the food. Ivy's smile was as sharp as a broken glass. I could hear the murmur of the dining room, the clatter of dishes, the hum of the air conditioning, and yet the silence between us felt like a bulletproof door. My name is Daniel Alvarez. I am 58 years old, and this is the story of how my daughter tried to use my money to crown the woman who destroyed my marriage and ended up showing me exactly who deserved to remain in my life and who didn't. A week earlier, Ivy had called me, practically shouting with excitement. She was engaged, 27 years old, in love, full of hope, my only daughter. I was truly happy. Despite the divorce, the troubled years, everything we lacked as a family, I never stopped imagining that moment. I always thought that, when it arrived, I would be there, serene, present, doing what a father does. Then came the budget, $85,000. I remember the blue glow of the laptop in my office, the dark leather of the chair, the sound of ice melting in the glass of water beside me. I read the figure twice, then a third time. It wasn't that I couldn't scrape it together. I could, but being able to and consenting are two different things. $85,000 for a few hours of flowers, music, and photographs seemed like an elegant fire. I invited her to dinner. I thought we would talk like adults. We would cut costs. We would find a middle ground. Instead, I sat across from my daughter and saw, with almost surgical clarity, how they unveiled the ambush piece by piece. First, the dream wedding. Then, the impossible guest list. Then came the big reveal. Not only would her mother be attending, but she'd have a special role. And while I was still processing that, the table plan appeared, complete with Graham, seated next to me, fed with my money, smiling down at me from atop a floral centerpiece of imported peonies. You're exaggerating, Ivy said, leaning back. She crossed her legs with a swift, impatient movement. It's been 15 years. Betrayal does expire on a calendar, I replied calmly. She gave a dry laugh. You always make this about yourself. I looked up from the plan. No, this is about $85,000. Colby cleared his throat. Maybe we can review some of the entries. Ivy turned her head toward him so slowly it felt like a rusty hinge. I already reviewed them. Then she called me stingy. She called me cheap. She said that if her mother was going to play a significant role, I had to get over it. It was her wedding. I had no right to dictate terms. She was right about one thing. It was her wedding. So I put my fork down, folded my napkin carefully, and said, then it can be your bill too. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue anymore. I didn't give speeches about sacrifices, nor did I pull out the list of everything I'd paid for in her life, though I had it in mind. Her entire university education, her first car, the deposit on the apartment after graduation, birthdays, trips, emergencies. I didn't need to take stock to know the value of my efforts. I simply grabbed my jacket from the back of the chair, left the plate untouched, and left as the restaurant's citrus scent lingered behind me like a poorly lit scene. They thought they had just cornered me. In reality, they had just shown me their hand before the final bet. The following days confirmed what I was already beginning to suspect. Ivy didn't want help. She wanted obedience. She set me a cut budget of $80,000, as if she downgraded a yacht to a speedboat. Then she added the detailed plan for the ceremony, a special dance with her mother, a speech about forgiveness, centerpiece photos with the whole family. It was so clumsy, it was almost elegant in its cynicism. I didn't respond immediately. I let the files pile up.